So if you've been watching me for a while, then you'll know that I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and one of the things that I love to do as a hobby is collect their Amiibo. And I figure since I have every single Amiibo now after a long time of hunting for them and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and never once overreacting.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Oh yes! It's mine! I got it! The Gold Mario Amiibo!
I figured I would share all of my know-how about how to collect Amiibo and, well, just in short, share with you what Amiibo are. So I decided to create this video, which is sort of a frequently asked questions video. The most frequently asked questions that people have about Amiibo. Let's go ahead and get started by answering the question, what are Amiibo? And the plural of Amiibo is Amiibo, so Amiibo is the way you say it, whether you're talking about one or several. To answer what Amiibo are, we need to go ahead and go back a few years. In 2011, I believe it was, Activision, which was responsible for the Legend of Spyro series a long time ago, brought that series forward and evolved it into a sort of brand new concept called Toys to Life. And the result of that was Skylanders. So basically the way Toys to Life work is you get the figure, and that works as sort of a real-life physical DLC for a video game, except in Skylanders' case, which is what these are, you needed these in order to just play the game no matter what. Basically, the game worked, you buy the game, and it doesn't work without these things. So you would want to get as many of these figures as you could in order to play the game. 2 years later, in 2013, Disney followed with their Disney Infinity series. They took some of their most famous Disney characters, of course this is Elsa, one of the most famous Disney characters right now, and made them into a similar Toys to Life product called Disney Infinity. And that is sort of more of a sandbox kind of thing than Skylanders is, but it's still a fun concept, and it showed that Activision wasn't the only ones out there hoping to make a monopoly out of this, and that Disney, after Infinity came out, they made a pretty successful series with that as well. In 2014, Nintendo was just about to release Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U, and they announced at E3 that year that they were going to make their own Toys to Life franchise, and that was called Amiibo. The way Amiibo work is a little different than Infinity and Skylanders. The way those work is they have their own dedicated games for those figures, and the figures and the games only work with each other. The way Amiibo work is there's sort of DLC that work on multiple various different games. In Super Smash Bros., you scan it into your Wii U and it unlocks a secondary AI that's kind of like a computer character, except you can train it up alongside yourself and make it its own very advanced CPU. It learns from you. It's not just a generic pre-programmed do all this stuff. It actually learns to do stuff. And Smash isn't the only game that happens in. There are a few others as well, including the first one that comes to mind is Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. But there are other games that the Amiibo work for very small things. Like in Super Mario Maker, they unlock various skins for you to use when creating levels. In Yoshi's Woolly World, it unlocks various skins for Yoshi. This is as close to physical DLC as you can get. They're absolutely not required to play the games. You're not going to miss anything by not getting these for the games, but they're a nice little thing for you to get if you do so want to get them, and they actually do work in the games as well. As of right now, there are almost 100 Amiibo. There are, I believe, 103 in total when you count the ones that have been announced but have not been released yet, and the Amiibo come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. We have at least one character Amiibo for every single character in Smash, including Wii Fit Trainer here, and that does include the DLC characters like Mewtwo, there's Roy, Ryu. The only three Smash characters that have not yet been released are Corrin, Cloud, and Bayonetta, and those have been announced as well. And every single one of these characters in Smash does have their own Amiibo. including Rob, which has 2 different skins of Amiibo. One that's the international skin that's black and white, and one that is the PAL version, which is red and sort of a beige. Every single Smash character has an Amiibo. There's also Amiibo from various other franchises, including, as you can see here, Animal Crossing. There's a good dozen of those. Then you have some that are standalone, they're not part of any series, like Shovel Knight here. And this is, I believe, the first Amiibo that was created by a third party outside of Nintendo. So basically, Amiibo come in all sorts of different forms, all sorts of different series. It's very likely if the game exists on a Nintendo console, you can expect some characters from that game to make an appearance as an Amiibo at some time or another. In fact, there are a whole lot of people who really do hope that their favorite characters that don't have an Amiibo yet get announced to have an Amiibo sometime in the future. Now that we've established what Amiibo are, we need to get to probably the biggest question that most people who don't already collect Amiibo or don't have a single one yet would ask. And that question is Amiibo for me? Now obviously this is going to be a question that only you could answer, but to help you answer that, I'm going to ask some questions of my own. And those questions, the biggest one is, do you like Nintendo? I mean, obviously you get characters like Shovel Knight, once again, that aren't necessarily Nintendo related, but the majority of characters that are released are going to be Nintendo characters. Going back to Disney Infinity, you'll see Elsa as a Disney Infinity figure, but you'll never expect to see Mewtwo as a Disney Infinity figure just because Mewtwo is not a Disney character. If you love Disney, then Disney Infinity is more for you. If you don't like Nintendo, then chances are Amiibo are not for you because Nintendo characters are going to be among the only ones that'll be released on Amiibo platform, and so if you don't like Nintendo, then that automatically means you won't like Amiibo, and that answers your question. If you do like Nintendo, then the next question obviously is, do you like these characters? And by that I mean you can't just stick around and hope that if you start collecting Amiibo now, sometime down the line, your favorite Nintendo character that doesn't have an Amiibo yet will get one released, like Waluigi or something. Waluigi doesn't have an Amiibo yet. You could still get started with the hopes that eventually he will get one, but there's no guarantee that he will, and it'd be a shame if a few years down the line you suddenly just lose interest in Amiibo, and then you've invested a few $100s in getting them, and you never did get the one that you wanted that they never made. If, however, you do like Isabelle, and you like the idea of owning a little figure of Isabelle, whether you have a game or not, if you want something to sit on your desk and look pretty while collecting dust, then by all means, go ahead and get one. You have nothing to lose, and you know, Nintendo did do a tremendous job with sculpting these. Every single one of these is very pretty, so you have absolutely nothing to lose, except a few dollars obviously, by getting a character that you like. Speaking of, the next question for you is, are you willing to spend that few dollars to get that character? You know, Isabelle hasn't been released on her own yet. She will in June, but when she is, that'll be $13 plus tax. So that's something to think about. You know, are you really willing to spend that kind of money on what is in essence a glorified children's toy? And if you are, then how many are you willing to get? Do you want just the one you want? Do you want just maybe the 5 characters that you love the best out of a particular series? Do you really want to get them all and be willing to spend anywhere from $5 to some of them $50 or more, depending on the market? Are you willing to spend that kind of money on these pieces of plastic with a little electronic chip in them? That's a question that only you could answer, and your bank account. And the final question you have to ask yourself is, if you do get them, will you just keep them or will you use them in your game? The reason I personally collect them out of box like this Wii Fit Trainer, as soon as I took it out of the box, its price dropped instantly. I got this right before the price skyrocketed. This was worth about $100 at one time inside its box. And I took it out without a second thought, and I've never regretted it since then. And why is that? because I love using these amiibo in my games. I love putting them in Super Mario Maker and unlocking skins. I love putting them in Yoshi's Woolly World and unlocking skins there. I love using my Splatoon amiibo and all the little challenges they have in that game. The amount of gameplay that you can get out of the amiibo is worth it to me to take them out of the box and actually scan them, plus it shaves on shelf space quite a bit. But if you are one of those people who you just want to get it because it looks awesome, you need to tell yourself that ahead of time. If you aren't going to use it in-game, chances are you're going to want to keep it in the box, because then at least eventually you can sell it back down the line, maybe get your money back if you ever do lose interest. And if even though you don't have a game that's compatible with the amiibo, maybe you don't even have a Wii U, and I totally understand if you don't. But if you don't, then, and you still want to take the amiibo out of its box and look awesome, you need to make that decision ahead of time, because once you make the decision to take it out of the box, you can't go back and the value just decreases instantly. And if you are ever thinking that maybe someday you would want to sell these to try and get some of your money back, then you got to think about that now. With all those questions for you out of the way, let's bite the bullet and say, okay, I want to get some amiibo. How do I start collecting? Let's go ahead and split this into two categories. The category of, are you going after everything, every single amiibo that's ever existed? And then the category of, you just want one or a few specific characters. Let's go ahead and go with the one that I dug myself into, going after everything. Like I said, I own every single amiibo. I started the hunt a little late, so if I could get them all with a little bit of work, blood, sweat, and tears, you guys can too. The first thing to do, obviously, is to just go to your local store. Best Buy, Target, Walmart, anything that sells toys, go there, go to the electronics section, go to the place where they have the Nintendo 3DS games, the other Disney Infinity figures, the Skylanders figures, go there. See what amiibo they have. If you're going after everything, odds are you'll see quite a few of them at reduced prices, specifically the Animal Crossing ones. That's your best bet of getting them. Just getting started by just going and getting anything you can find. All your local stores. If you have the money and you have the time, just hit up every single store in your area, see what they have. Even if you hunt at 18 stores and there's one Walmart left and you don't think they ever have anything, go there, because there's been quite a few times when that's happened to me, and that last Walmart had the one that I wanted, and sometimes even more than just the one. Now, obviously, most of the time, yeah, they won't have anything, but every now and then, they do have something that you need, and that makes it totally worthwhile. When the stores are all out of the stuff that you want, and they will be, I mean, there's 100 amiibo out there, and maybe only a dozen or so on the shelves now, then the next thing to do is go to eBay and Amazon. Do some price hunting, price matching, find the absolute cheapest price that you can find for an amiibo, especially one that you really want. Find what that price is, and if it's anywhere close to suggested retail value of about $13 for a normal amiibo, $17 for the Yarn Yoshi, about $35 for a triple pack, whatever. If it's anywhere close to suggested retail price, buy it, because you don't know if you'll ever see that in stores, and if you have to pay $1 or more now, at least you don't have to worry about it later down the road when it might be double or triple its normal price. When you've exhausted all of those resources and there are still some amiibo that are eluding you, the best thing you can do for yourself is follow the Amiibo subreddit and follow every single Amiibo news that you can find on social media. Go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If it's on social media, follow it. Amiibo news, Amiibo alerts, whatever you can find, follow them, because they will have information as it comes on any previously released Amiibo whenever they're coming back in stock, whenever they're about to have a huge sale, whenever there's a new Amiibo about to come out and we finally have some new information on it. Follow all of them, you will not regret it. And with all those resources, you should eventually come to the place where someday down the road, you'll have every single one. Make sure you pace yourself, make sure you don't break the bank, and above all, make sure you have fun. Because if you're not having fun hunting, then it's just a chore. Trust me. Now let's say you're going after a specific character, like this Wii Fit trainer. If you know anything about Amiibo, and odds are if you're watching this video you don't, this was one of the most rare Amiibo out there. It still is. At one point this soared to over $100, I'm not sure what it goes for now, but the point is this will not be an easy Amiibo to find. To help you find it, what you're going to want to do is to look up when it was first released. Amiibo that were released a long time ago, you're not going to find them in stores anymore, plus that'll give you a rough idea of how much it should be worth. If an Amiibo was released a long time ago and it sold out instantly, you know it's going to be worth a lot. If an Amiibo was released a long time ago but it wasn't sold out instantly, like Pikachu for example, then you know that it should still be worth around the same as when it first came out. The best resource you can do, believe it or not, to find out the exact value of an Amiibo is to go to eBay. Compare all sorts of different prices there for a figure that you're looking for and see what the best price is. That should tell you what it's worth right now. And your first instinct will probably be to buy it right then and there. Don't. I highly recommend that you wait a few weeks, maybe a month, see how the price fluctuates. If it looks like it's going up, then yeah, get it. If it looks like it's going down, then you're good to wait for a little while longer even after that, because a cheap Amiibo is a happy Amiibo. Really? You gave me that? What do I pay you for? Really? That was lame. Even if you're not going after every Amiibo, but you're still going after some specific ones, it's good to know that every single character, every single Amiibo figure has a different rarity and goes for a different price. Your best bet at starting out is just to research as much as you can, see how much they go for, and wait a little while to see how the price fluctuates. If it goes down, great. If it goes up, buy it. The great thing about Amiibo, though, is that Nintendo can announce new Amiibo at any time for any series, any character. So, the best thing to do is just to keep a lookout on any new Nintendo news updates. If there's any sort of Amiibo news there, you'll want to know about it as soon as possible. The Amiibo craze might be over. Gone are the days of you having to stand in line for hours before a store opens, hoping to get one of maybe 3 or 4 figures that they got that day. Those days are gone, but if you get into this business, you're going to want to be on top of things. Just trust me on that. And with that out of the way, I believe I'm done with this video. If you have any more questions, feel free to post them in the comments, and be sure to let me know what you thought of this video. I do a lot of Amiibo updates and highlights here on the channel, so feel free to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed, and be sure to hit the like button if you liked the video. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.